Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn it to the and I want to be careful. And the reason I say that is because I want to give full disclosure. And in no way will anything impact what I say or do. So, but I used to attend Deep Creek Baptist Church years ago. Okay. When we were growing up.
Right.
Also, I actually, and I have an affection for that church. And also, I used to Howard Dunn used to work for Culp Incorporated, and I worked for Culp Incorporated years ago. And so, what the reason I'm saying this is Howard Dunn was probably one of the best executives I've ever worked for. And this brings me to the next question. There was a pastor that stood up, Pastor Fargis, and I think this needs explanation. And we've talked about this. He said that you've not been honest with him. He said you interrupt the service and funerals. He said this lasted a week. That y'all had made the discussion that you wouldn't shoot before the service, and that if you had funerals, you wouldn't be shooting when they had the funeral. So, what happened there? Can you give us a little clarity on that from your side?
So here's how I look at this. I don't want to cause the pastor any more heartache and grief. And it's Christmas time right now. And that's why I said what I said at the county commissioners meeting, because I believe that he was misinformed. And I think that's what I said. I know he called me a liar and said some things. And I said to myself, I says, if I go down there and I say, here's our check-in, check-out there for the last 52 Sundays, that doesn't show that nobody's checked in until after 12 o'clock. Here's our register, which I have, by the way.
And you did that at the last county commissioners meeting. You actually had that with you and showed nobody was 12:07, I believe, was a time that you mentioned on one of them. So nobody's shooting before 12 o'clock on Sunday, correct?
Correct. And without jeopardizing Reds, so like I said, we have Type 7 FFLs here. We have suppressors. We have stuff that I don't want getting out without jeopardizing our security systems and our ground sensors. And I can tell you this: if a groundhog burrowed on Rad's property, we know about it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not joking when I say
Okay,
that.
let me and to keep you from, I don't want you to feel like you got it. Let me just say this. So y'all have decided not to shoot before 12 on Sunday, and you have the logs to show that that has not happened. You have not shot before 12 o'clock, right?
That's
Okay.
correct.
The second thing was about the funerals. Now, Sean had brought up that you said that, I think maybe you'd said that you would not shoot during funerals. Is that true, or is that true?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we have T-Mobile as our cell phone carrier for the range. I can pull up the last 2 years of logs. The
Mhm.
pastor has never called me and asked to say, "Hey, we're having a funeral. Don't shoot." We
Okay, so that's the that was the arrangement. He was supposed to alert you because you wouldn't know any
no,
other, right?
and look, out of respect for the
Yeah,
family
I
of
agree.
the individual, we would stop shooting. I would go, "Hey, we got to stop shooting for an hour. Come in, shoot some pool, get a coffee." But they're having a service, and that's just being a decent human being. He has never said anything to me or let us know. And I'm pretty much here every day. Even my staff, I ask them, um, and really April handles the phones. I ask them, did you hear anything or did he say anything? I haven't heard anything from her. She
Okay.
goes, no one's called. So I don't know what number they would call from, but if they could give us a phone number, we
Yeah.
can search T-Mobile's logs, which if you go on the T-Mobile site, you can see all the phone numbers that have called or texted you for over 2 years. So
So
again,
I
I
got you.
I don't want to.
I got you. I
I don't want.
understand.
I don't like you said. I don't want to interfere with the church's business. I
Right.
don't feel like that's my place to say, hey, call him out and say he's a liar. I'm not doing that.
No.
I don't
It,
want that stigma of tit for tat. I'm taking the high
right.
ground, going. I can prove that we don't.
And that's what I'm wanting, and that's exactly why I'm giving you this. I want you to have this opportunity because it's not about making someone look bad or look good or anything like. It's about knowing what's going on. So let me ask you this question: if there were a number that you well, if he could, if you could, and I don't know if he's got your number or not, but I assume he would. He knows the rad range number. I'm sure it's very public. So if he were
Radrange.com.
to call you, if
Radrange.com.
there you go, and we'll give you a chance to plug. Yeah, if he were to call you now, I'm just asking Rudy and say, listen, I had so and so to pass away, and they're having their funeral Saturday, or let's say Saturday from 1 to 3 out there. Would you be willing to? What would you do?
I would tell everybody you have to stop shooting. The church is having a funeral. We would shut down the ranges.
And that's very good.
Because
Yeah.
it's not because of the pastor. It's
No,
not
no, no.
it's the
I
right
got you.
thing to do for the person that has
The family and everything. That's right.
right now. With that being said, if he's going to start calling me and be like, "Hey, I got Bible study, I got revival, I got this, I got that," whoa, 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 that's not what we agreed to. It
Yeah.
was not shooting until 12 on Sundays. If you have a funeral, we will shut down. But I
And I
want to be perfectly clear. That wasn't a compromise. That's just the right thing to do.
Yeah, and I remember you stood up there. I think if I remember right, you stood up there with Terry Johnson, and y'all, and that was the agreement that was made then. Because I remember seeing that. So, and I think that's a good thing, and to do that. So, and I agree with you. You can't shut your business. I think those two compromises are good. Okay,
Right.
so we'll leave it at that. And I would leave it. I would hope the pastor would really try to contact you and say, Rudy, hey, let's try this thing again.
Nothing has changed. The agreement still stands. I'm not,
Yeah.
it's again, like you said, I was staring at Terry Johnson. If I was shooting at deputies, women, and children, I wouldn't be standing next to Terry Johnson. I would be at the Alamance County Jail in a cell or in prison.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's going to bring me to one question in just a minute. Because this is, this is going to bring me to this question now. So let me encourage Pastor Fargis, if he would, to be, to call and to really set that if they do have a funeral. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that would be good. So